You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, it's Charge and Hayner present Zoom the TBT, and we're continuing our Charleston regional preview. Charge, as we go to the lower right, we're talking about D2, Bleed Virginia, Best Virginia, and the recast WoCo Showtime. What sticks out of you in this pod?
I mean, this is a incredibly solid pod. I mean, and we're kind of seeing that as a theme. This is our third pod, but on the left, you got D2 and Bleed Virginia. This is, I mean, we just got done doing Fort Wayne and Primetime as an 8-9. You got D2 and Bleed Virginia as a 7-10. I mean, any one of those four teams can easily move on and advance and take this regional with the strength that they have. And then, of course, you got Best Virginia on the right, good hometown. But I think one of the special teams every year is everyone loves Showtime. And
Get your popcorn ready.
And the rebranded Showtime, which we'll talk about here in a second. So, I mean, just some exciting players, great teams, and it's going to be more good basketball in West Virginia.
And Charge, who's our guest tonight?
Well, funny you say that. We're talking about WoCo Showtime. So, Travis, assistant coach of the new rebranded WoCo Showtime. Welcome.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Appreciate you getting on. And co-GM, Shane Presley.
Yep. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, so let's start with let's start with you, Shane. So I talked about the rebrand. So tell us a little bit about what happened and kind of how this got started.
Well, it started obviously with Lee Skinner. That was our connection with Wofford. And we had talked to Lee about, we were getting everything to go together for our team this year. And Lee had mentioned that he was playing with a Wofford alumni team and had put Travis into contact with Bobby, who coincidentally coached right across the street from Travis's high school where he coached at. So they had a connection previously, actually. So we kind of got in contact with Bobby, and Bobby's pretty much put together most of the Wofford guys we have.
That would make sense. Yeah, I think the idea of going with an alumni team and branding it as a co-brand of an already established, really fun team is sort of a unique thing, because that's sort of what happened last year with War Tampa War Ready, where a team that already had a pretty solid brand melded with the alumni team. So I think there's a really interesting thing about making the two brands meld in something interesting and new, which could also filter into how you guys play. So Travis, obviously you're one of the coaches here. One of the advantages of having a team like Wofford, guys like McGee, is that you guys can play a little fast. You guys can shoot. Are you guys just is the plan against West or Best Virginia just to basically shoot them off the floor? Is that what you guys are going to try to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously something, with the team that we've put together. Shane was talking about how we rebranded. That was our big thing is in the past few years, we've hit and miss kind of with teams that just didn't really know how to play together. And that was our goal this year, was to get a team that knows how to play together within a system. And, you mentioned the shooters we have. We're kind of in one of those situations where, if we shoot it well, I think we have a chance to win. And if we don't shoot it well, it'll be tough.
Yeah, and that's going to be the great thing about this is anybody can beat anybody in the TBT. And you guys got a really tough alumni matchup here. And so you're going to go into, obviously it's not Morgantown, but going into Charleston, and it's going to be a very, very heavy Best Virginia crowd. So how do you prepare for that, Shane?
I mean, these guys are professionals. They've played in these crazy environments before. Most of these guys have kind of experienced this stuff. I know Wofford with Fletcher, and I think Nate and Garcia was both at Wofford when they went into UNC and actually beat UNC in Chapel Hill. So that's nothing I don't think they've ever done before. But I know for us personally, probably one of the best experiences we've had was when we played the VCU alumni in Charlotte, and they had an enormous outturn even in Charlotte for their fans, which, I mean, that's what you want to have as an experience, is playing against a full crowd of people, not a empty gym with 50 people in there. You can hear the ball bounce.
Yeah, definitely. You want to make sure you have people there. So you guys will be facing Best Virginia there. Like, from a perspective of preparation, obviously they're the heavy favorites. What are you doing to prepare for them as the underdogs? Like, how are you trying to level the playing field?
Yeah, we're currently, me and Bobby right now, I've been speaking, every day, and we're just currently going to break down, their entire scouting report and all the players, and just try to, get as much information on them as we can.
Yeah, and there was an interesting thing about West Virginia is I believe I will have to wait to see all the final rosters, but the only truly alumni team. So they've been very kind of disciplined about not going out and getting grad transfers. So these guys, a lot of history together, know each other, been in the same program for a while. So
And I find that shocking, Charge, because I didn't even know you could graduate from college at West Virginia. I thought it was just a basketball team attached to dorms. I did not know that.
Somehow they all made it out. Yeah, and they do have a couple of charge guys, so I can't go to a show. Alex Ruoff, Kevin Jones, they're going to be some tough players, some good competition. Konate's been tearing it up in the Cleveland, Akron, Ampro right now. So, those guys got a lot of videos up, and Huggins spoke very highly of him today. So he's going to be definitely a force to be reckoned with. So some of the guys from the first year, I think Page got hurt that first year, but he's back. Phillips, Staten. I mean, this is a deep team of players. So looking forward to seeing it. It's going to be a fun game. And like I said, I think WoCo is going to be prepared. And you guys have embraced the underdog role for a lot of years now in your own right. So this is going to be no different for you. And looking forward to seeing how you guys match up against West Virginia.
I think one thing about West Virginia that's interesting too. Well, thanks again to TBT Thoughts for doing these slides. You notice they all play in high-level leagues. Germany won, Turkey won, France won, Russia won. As in they're all playing in top European leagues, which makes them a really tough matchup because these guys are chock full of Euro League and high-level European experience. Whereas most of WoCo's roster is younger guys who have played, they've played generally in college. Like there are a lot of guys who went to Wofford and are recent graduates. So there is a bit of an experience versus youth vibe in this game, I'm starting to feel. So is it almost an advantage for you guys to just kind of play loose and dumb and just be too dumb to know the consequences, basically? Like, is there a way to just basically harness the underdog's lack of stakes and just use that as a weapon?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely anytime, you Charge mentioned it, we've been an underdog, several years, and we beat West Virginia a few years ago. And it's kind of you're playing with house money, you don't have anything to lose. So it makes you play loose, like you said.
Yeah. I expect you guys to really shoot this game. I mean, I really think if this can be an up-tempo shooting game, you guys have a legit chance. You just have to really force the tempo and not turn. You have to both play fast, but value the ball, which is always the problem when you have to play fast is to value the ball.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, West Virginia, how they usually play, just the up-tempo pressure type of game, I'm interested to see how they come at us with that.
I am curious though, because you don't often, Charge, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of guys don't actually play a press in TBT though. I mean, if they're from colleges, they play a press. A lot of people don't really do it. Do we expect West Virginia to come out and use the press unless they need it?
Yeah, I mean, good point. It's hard to say. And I mean, the thing that they do have, they have a really deep roster, a lot of guys that they can, kind of get in and out of that game. So I guess that remains to be seen. And I don't recall from their last stint in the TBT, obviously that was 2 years ago. They had the COVID situation last year. So I can't recall how they came out when they were down in Virginia a couple of years back.
Yeah, that's something we're definitely going to be interested in.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little briefly about this other game. Now we've had both Matt and Grant from D2 and Bleed Virginia on the pod. And this is another one of those games that's going to be really physical. I expect this game to be, Bleed Virginia is a pretty good name for this matchup, I think, because there might be a lot of blood on the floor. The key thing about this matchup, because the physicality, D2 obviously won a game last year. And was always a contending team, always a really gutty team. And Bleed Virginia is basically the Giants from VCU recasting their old roster into a more Virginia tinge thing to get a wider net. Charge, is the winner of this game going to have anything left for the Showtime Best Virginia winner?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Some of these physical ones, but these guys are, definitely professionals. They know, how to rest and recover and recoup and come back and for the next game. And no matter what the matchup is, you may think some are not as physical as others, but the other team's going through some of the same pains and kind of recovery time. So yeah, I absolutely think it's going to be an incredible matchup, whoever they get. And these two teams are ridiculous. So D2. Was a fill-in on COVID last year, and they got that injury really early in the game. I think it was Sullivan, so I'm not 100% sure if my memory serving me correctly. So, they ended up dropping that game, a real tight one. But I think they're going to be, once again, really, really hungry. And then this Bleed Virginia team is just really surgical. Matt's done an incredible job kind of retooling. Used to run the VCU. You see he's got some VCU flavor there. But he's got, very specifically guys who can shoot, which obviously no-brainer, but very good defensively, some really good two-way players. So this one here, I just think, like I mentioned, the 7, 8, 9, 10 seeds is going to be an incredible. I don't think there's any other 7, 8, 9, 10 that's going to be as good of games as we're going to see in the West Virginia market.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 8, 9 games are pretty much universal across the board, really good. But this is also has the great 7-10 suits. This might be the best 7-10 matchup on the board. Okay, so let's go to the picks. These are some really, really great teams. And gents, you guys can go ahead and sorry here. So let's just go ahead and do it. Misclick. But yeah, you can see right there. We've got no one's picking you guys. Not a single one of them. So is that good for you guys? I mean, is that just is that the middle finger that you guys need to inspire your team?
Yeah, I think we need that because the last two people we all have had have kind of hopped us up a little too much. So we need something to slow us down. I know Garrett was kind of hitting at the upset, and then actually it was the other inside the TBT. Those guys were kind of flirting with it a little bit, and we need something to kind of slow the momentum down.
Well, hey, we aim to please, but yeah, Garrett's really high on your team. Obviously, big time student of the game, and he was raving about the roster you guys had put together, and you picked up Emmett right here at the end, which is going to add some good size for you. So, so glad we can pick against you, kind of even things out a little bit, but it's going to be an amazing matchup. I can't wait to see it.
Definitely, we'll get you a clip of this. You can play for your team where we picked against.
Yeah.
Sure. To play that on loop before Best Virginia. And since we'll be there in person, you can feel free to literally give us grief while we're there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this D2 one, that's another coin toss at D2. And
I don't think so.
No. This is
I think
D2 is going to come in a little more cohesive. A lot of these, and that's why I picked D2. Bleed Virginia's talented team. It's first year playing together, so they could have a little growing pains there. So that's my only concern. But same thing as at 8-9. I think this is a coin flip, and but it's going to be really entertaining basketball.
Oh, 100%. I can't wait. I mean, I don't think it's a coin flip. I think D2's, in my mind, a pretty clear favorite. And that's not a discredit to Bleed Virginia. That's a credit to D2. I think D2's a really good squad. I think Bleed Virginia is very credible. I think it's going to be a very good game. And Bleed Virginia is 100% capable of winning that game. And the winner of that game is 100% capable of being the winner of Best Virginia and Showtime. But I do think D2 is the favorite there. I think they're a little more cohesive. Every one of their players played last year. Every one of their players is playing at a high level league. I think they're a clear, if slight, favorite over Bleed Virginia. But hey, what do I know? I'm some more.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, so gentlemen, we got Travis Viers and Shane Presley of Showtime swinging by to help us preview the Charleston region. Gentlemen, good luck. Can't wait to see you guys, and thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hainer. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.